Before we continue with today's session, it is so important that we do an acknowledgement of traditional lands. Royal Roads University acknowledges that the campus is located on the traditional lands of the Cossacks, Esquimalt, and Lekwungen Songhees ancestors and families. It is with gratitude that we now learn and work here, where the past, the present, and the future of Indigenous and non-Indigenous students, faculty, and staff come together. So today's session, just to make sure we're all in the right room, is going to be focused on the graduate certificate in executive coaching. And with me today, I have Annette, who is a certified executive coach and learning and development advisor. If you want to say hi.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
And my name is Yamara, and I'm an education specialist. Behind the scenes, we also have our enrollment team monitoring the chat. So if you have any questions, pop them in the chat. We'll address them there, or we'll answer them out loud as well. We also have Selena, who's supporting the session. So if you have any questions about tech support or anything Zoom related, you can connect with Selena and she'll help you out. So agenda for today, just so we all know what's in store, a welcome and get to know one another. That's the part of the agenda we're in right now. I actually have a really quick poll that I wanted to launch to kind of get to know everybody in the room a bit better. So I'll get you to look at your screen and you'll see that I am launching a poll. Do you see it there? You do. No, I see you don't see it there. Okay, sorry about that. Let's see. Sharing the poll. Now you do. Okay, well, I'll read out the question out loud. So if you don't see it on your screen, you can answer in the chat so we can know what your answer is. So the question is, why are you interested in taking a coaching program or course? And the options are, I want to become an executive coach. I already work as a coach. I want to continue developing my skills as an executive coach. I'm looking for a career change, mere curiosity, or not sure. So we just want to get a bit more about your why. Why are you here? What are you hoping to learn? Okay, so it looks like the poll's not working, but you feel welcome to pop that in the chat. And if not, we'll just keep going. Perfect. Yeah, sorry about that. Polls are usually my favorite thing to do in webinars, so I'm slightly disappointed that it's not working, but that's okay. Pop it in the chat. Curiosity, I see for some people. Number one, they want to be a coach or they're already working in the industry. Thank you. Thanks for popping that in the chat. All right, well, we're going to talk more about that today on how that can be a reality for you. So the next part of our agenda is a brief overview of the Royal Roads University experience. We're going to talk about program information. We're going to go through the application process and requirements and question and answer at the end. So give me a thumbs up. Does that sound good to everybody here? You can give me a real thumbs up or a reaction feature thumbs up. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Looks like that works for everybody in the room. Okay, we'll keep going. So this is some images from our campus. You'll see the top left is Hatley Castle. So we actually have a castle located on our campus. You might even recognize this castle from movies such as X-Men or Deadpool. Give me the party emoji, actually, if you do recognize it from one of those movies. And give me a round of applause if you're planning on watching one of those movies later to see if you can recognize Hatley Castle while you're watching the movie. Awesome. And the top right image is the Japanese gardens. We have these beautiful gardens on campus that you can wander through. We have acres and acres of hiking trails. And if you look at the bottom left, that's Esquimalt Lagoon. And we overlook the Esquimalt Lagoon. It's a beautiful bird sanctuary. And you can also see the Olympic Peninsula Mountains in the background. So it's a beautiful campus. I hope that you have a chance to visit. And on the bottom right is the image to just demonstrate an ode to online learning and teaching. Here at Royal Roads University, we have been teaching and learning online for over 25 years. So a bit more about why explore Royal Roads University. So we see life as a qualification, and we'll talk more about that later through our flexible admission process. But we understand that every single person here has a different career path or a different journey that has taken them to where they are today. And we understand that. So we really do see your life and experience as a qualification. And props who know your name. So you're more than a student number than us here. You're way more than a student number. You are somebody that we want to know as an individual, and we get to know your first name fast. And we also learning based on life. So we look at your past experiences and we make sure that there's no division between theory and practice. It's all integrated here with our curriculum. And the cohort model through Royal Roads, it's really about connections for life. So the people that you go to school with will become your network and your colleagues and your peers, and you will stay in touch with them for years to come. We were built differently from day one, and we'll talk more about that throughout today's session. So now I'm so pleased to welcome up Annette, and she'll be talking more about the program structure.
Thank you, Mara. Excuse me, my voice was going there. Do we have another slide that we can go to, I think? I can tell you that it's a 7-month program. It's right now we're offering it online virtually just because of the pandemic. We've got, this is one of our executive coaching alumni. Actually, we always try to highlight our alumni because they are the biggest ambassadors of the program. We are really connected to our alumni and we bring them back to the program. So why executive coaching? Executive coaching is an emerging profession, both within organizations where coaches enhance the leadership capacities of key staff and managers, and externally where coaches work with business leaders. So we really, truly, our classes are very diverse. We have people that come from the health sector, from education, from financial sector. We have lawyers come through, we have psychologists come through. So really it's just a helping profession. So people that are working with others, having probably indirect coaching conversations and wanting to come to the program to actually learn a framework to have true coaching conversations. The program is accredited through the International Coach Federation. So we are an accredited coach training provider, which means that students will have 125 coach training hours, so learning hours within the program. There's a minimum of 40 hours of coaching that students will complete before they've actually successfully completed the program. And that's almost halfway to a credential if students or alumni are looking to move forward with their international coach credential. 3 courses. The first course overarches the entire program. It's called Best Practices in Executive Coaching. Every one of the courses is 3 credits each. This is a program where you need to complete the entire program from start to finish. It's not a program where you can take a course and then come back and complete another course, because as you'll see, 500 Best Practices in Executive Coaching, it overarches the entire program. And the reason it does that is because we also have mentor coaching in the learning, as well as a business application team assignment. So you would have your team, it's team-based learning, so you'd be on the same team for the entire program. And your team would approach a not-for-profit organization and coach the leaders of that team. So that's where the overarching comes, because you're starting it in your very beginning of the program, and then you're ending it with a presentation back to the cohort on your learnings in that team project, as well as for yourselves as coaches, as well as what the ROI was for the organization. You will be assigned a mentor coach. So you would have 3 mentor coaching sessions in your first course, the Foundations of Executive Coaching. And then you would have another mentor coach that would be assigned to you in your second online course, Executive Coaching in Organizations. And what happens in a mentor coaching session is you're coaching somebody, the mentor coach is listening in on the phone, or whether it could be Zoom, whatever the choice is. And then you receive an hour of mentor coaching from your assigned mentor coach on what went well and how to get you to that next International Coach Federation competency. So it's really building on your success, right? So if there's something that you're struggling with, well, your mentor coach would help you through that to get you to that next level of coaching. Foundations of Executive Coaching is really about yourself. At Royal Roads, we believe that to be in service to others, we need to know who we are as a coach. So learning what our boundaries are, what style of coaching we are not drawn to, but our signature presence, who we are as a coach. It is intense learning. I'm not going to lie. It took me 8 years before I would take the program. I've been leading this since 2005, and I completed the program in 2012, and I still live the learning. The second online course, Executive Coaching and Organization, bridges from the foundations course of learning who you are as a course to actually coaching in organizations. So that's when that team assignment really comes to action, because you'll be coaching that, the organization, the leaders in the organization by then, by the time you started your second course. Then you come back for a virtual residency for your capstone, which is another overarching of the 500 best practices, where you'll be assessed as a coach. It's really just like another mentor coaching session, except you're coaching a complete stranger in front of a panel, which would be a mentor coach and an alumni, sometimes 2 alumni. And it's just such a wonderful way to launch our students as executive coaches, because they know they can coach a complete stranger from the training that they've received over the 7 months. Any questions so far? I know we're going to have a Q&A, but you feel free to pop them in the chat. Thank you, Lisa. And you will also see that Lisa has provided some links to what I've been speaking about. What else can I tell you? It's about, well, there's weekly webinars every Wednesday from 5 to 6 Pacific time. And I would say it's about 15 to 20 hours of learning per week, depending on your learning style. And that would include your readings, posts, assignments, coaching, the webinars. Basically, the whole encompasses all of that. Some people, some people say that it's more than that, but I think it really depends on your learning style. I would say an average of 15. We've got a question from Liz. Is there a part of running a business as an executive coach or other classes that could be taken in addition? Not in this program, because that would be more of a business program, whereas this is part of our professional and continuing studies. So that would be through the Faculty of Management, but not within coaching. The coaching program itself is teaching you a framework of coaching, whereas marketing yourself as a business would be the business building aspect of it. And we don't offer that here. However, the business application team assignment, you are learning to market yourselves as a coach to an organization. Our webinar is recorded. That's 9 to 10 p.m. for Maritimers. They are recorded. However, they are a mandatory part of the program because we need to be able to deliver the 125 coach training hours. The webinars are part of that face-to-face requirement that's required by the International Coach Federation. We do understand that life happens, so you're not going to be able to make every single webinar. And if that is the case, then we encourage students to contact the instructor to let them know that they're not going to be able to attend that one. There would be an assignment once you've finished listening to the recording, just so we know that you've gleaned the learning from the webinar.
I wanted to jump in as well, Annette, with another question. Something we get often is, where are our grads now? So where are our coaching grads? Where are they working? What are our alumni doing? Could you speak a bit more to that?
Mm-hmm. Right now, we're seeing more. It used to be that we would have more external coaches coming through as consultants, looking to add coaching to their practice. And then it switched and it was more internal coaches, especially because of the health sector. Lots of coaching happening in the health sector. Now it's about a 50-50. So they're coaching internally. Some actually, we've had a few alumni teams that have gotten together and formed a partnership, and they're just thriving in this coaching world. So, and they are, they recruit alumni as well. I would say that the internal coaches are still coaching outside of their job. I do. So I've set aside Wednesday evenings and Saturday mornings for my coaching practice. And it just, it's just one of those things that once you start coaching, you just want to keep coaching. So, and our alumni, we do offer alumni coaching within the program. So, and that is pro bono coaching. They offer up to 5 hours of coaching to help you with that. And that might be something you work with them on, is what are they doing now? How did you market yourself as a coach? If you're starting a business. And our alumni, we are always happy to connect people to alumni in different sectors, whether they're external, internal, whether they were a consultant that has brought coaching to their practice. The best conversations are the ones having them with the actual person because as we know, story sharing is, it lands for people, right? It's their own experience, and our alumni are always happy to share.
I just saw in the chat that Lisa popped in, if anybody's interested in meeting with an alumni and having a chat, just to reach out to Lisa in enrollment and she can make that connection. So don't hesitate.
Awesome.
If you want to hear more and like you said, Annette, that storytelling and hear all about it firsthand experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Lisa, for doing that too.
Shall we jump to the next slide?
Yes, please. So as I had said earlier, we are an accredited coach training provider with the International Coaching Federation, which requires us as a coach training provider to provide students with 125 training education hours. Our program is about 33 hours of learner effort per credit, 3 credits per course. So the entire program is 9 credits. The 125 coach training hours includes the webinars, it includes the residency, it includes the pre-residency, and I guess even some of the coaching that you'll be doing, because you'll be coaching within your team, you're coaching within your triad. So there's lots of interaction. It's a very interactive program. I should say as well that our January offering is going to be delivered virtually. We are hoping to be able to deliver our spring intake in person. And again, it really depends on COVID and what the numbers are telling us. So what our plan is to maybe have 1 offering per year on campus and then have 2 offerings virtually or vice versa. However, the final residency, the capstone, we are keeping as a virtual offering. Just, you know, with Zoom, it's just so much easier to have the breakout spaces so you can have your own coaching conversation. It's private, it's confidential. On campus, it's really tough to get space to have those conversations. And right now with COVID, it's just not safe. Next slide, please. Do we have a question?
So we're jumping into how to apply, but if any questions are coming up, just pop them in the chat and we'll either address them throughout the session or we'll address them at the end as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Annette. So jumping into how to apply, I wanted to recommend look at the website when you're applying for the program because it lists so clearly all the different things that you need for your application, but it's always good to get a quick overview. So I'll do an overview right now. Always refer to the website. So as I mentioned earlier, at Royal Roads University, we have standard admission, but we also have flexible admission. And that's because we understand that everybody has different experiences getting them to where they are today. So for the graduate certificate in executive coaching, for standard admission, it would be completion of either an undergraduate 4-year or comparable degree, or a graduate degree in a related field from a post-secondary institution, and normally at least 3 years of relevant full-time work experience. So that's for our standard admission. Flexible admission, it's for you to be considered for flexible admission, applicants would normally require at least 5 years of relevant work experience in a full-time capacity. And I wanted to mention something that's really important is all of our applications are assessed case by case. So don't self-select yourself out. If you have any questions on if you fit under standard or flexible admission, or if this is an appropriate program for you, connect with enrollment because we're here to support. We're here to look at you as an individual and help support that decision. So everything is case by case. And how to apply. So if you're going to apply, you create an account on our website. So it's an online application. You create an account. The fee is $128.81, and you start your account. And once you have your application started, you'll also need to submit some supporting documents. So supporting documents are official transcripts. Oh, I see. Lisa, thank you for popping that in the chat. Lisa's so good at popping all the right links in the chat. So you can even follow along and there's more details in the website. But things that you'll need are official transcripts. For something to be considered official, it needs to come directly from another post-secondary institution in either a sealed envelope or from their recognized email address. You'll also have a personal statement that you'll need to fill out. Personal statements are really your why, so your motivation for taking the program, because we want to know, why are you taking the program? Where are you hoping to go? How is it going to impact your career? Personal statements, I've actually had the feedback from people that it's their favorite part of the application. I recently applied for a program, and the personal statement, it really solidified my why. Why am I doing this? Why am I taking this program? And it was really helpful in just making me realize that, yes, this is the program for me. And what I recommend doing is you want to complete your personal statement and then share it with the people that are going to be writing your letters of reference. Because this program, for the application, you are required to submit 2 letters of reference. And if you share that personal statement, the people writing your reference letter, so they could be academic or like work references, they'll be able to then write more to why you're in the program and help support your reasoning for being an ideal candidate. And in addition to your official transcript, personal statement, and letters of reference, you'll also need to submit a detailed resume. So this detailed resume will go into detail about things like your education, any past certificates, any voluntary, like volunteer experience or unpaid experience, your work experience, any professional memberships or affiliations. It's just a way for us to get to know you better. And if you have any questions about any of this, pop it in the chat, because Lisa is an expert at answering these questions, or you can always connect with enrollment at a later time. They can help you through this. So some upcoming intakes, and we keep our website up to date with this information. But the next application deadline is October 10th, 2021. And that is for the January 10th, 2022 start. We also have another start date, April 11, 2022, and an additional start date of August 29th, 2022. Annette, can you speak to, are any of those filling up, or is there room in the next one, or what does it look like?
Our January intake is actually waitlisting currently. However, we are going to open up the registration or the application deadline to November 10th. We typically do see deferrals, especially at this time of year, and with COVID. People that are working in the health sector, we get deferrals quite often. Can't guarantee that the wait list will move, but there is potential that it could. And over the Christmas holidays, we also tend to see deferrals come through. So I wouldn't let that stop you from applying, because you do have the option to move to a different program. The wait list right now, I think we're only currently at 3 or 4. November 10th, it's still October 10th until the 10th, and then we'll move it to November 10th. We can't update it until that deadline. The application deadline has passed, but I did receive approval from our Associate Vice President that she's going to extend it to November 10th.
Awesome. Thank you, Annette, for all the insider knowledge.
You're welcome.
All right. And we understand as well that school is an investment, learning is an investment. So we have a financial aid that's available. So I highly recommend connecting while you're thinking about applying and while you start application. That's a good time to start connecting with our financial aid and award specialists. And you can kind of look into different resources that they have. I definitely recommend checking the website. They have so much information. You can always book an appointment with them as well from our website. And Lisa has popped the link in the chat there for you. And application support, we're here to help. I know that sometimes an application can feel like a bit of a daunting process. So we're here to walk you through that, connect with enrollment. That's learn.more at royalroads.ca if you're within Canada, or learn.more.international at royalroads.ca if you're from outside of Canada. And I actually have that on the next slide here. So that's the contact information. So don't hesitate to reach out if you need any support or have any questions about the program. And now we're kind of coming up to the question and answer period. So I wanted to invite people to pop any questions in the chat if anything's coming up, or if you want anything clarified from today's session. So I'll let that happen right now.
There's a question on how many students are accepted for each session. Right now, it's 42. With the virtual offering, we have accepted up to 45.
All right. And I have a question for you, Annette. So you're a staff member at Royal Roads University, but you are also a grad of the program. So do you have any advice for the people in the room today of like how to approach the coaching program and how to kind of make sure it feels like the right fit for them? Like when you were approaching it, you said it took you a little bit of time to first take the program. What kind of advice do you have?
You know, you just know when the time is right. For me, I had a younger family at the time. I knew it was a lot of work. It is a lot of work. But I think it was more about learning about myself. I thought, oh, I know about myself. I don't want to learn more about myself. It's hard work. It was the best learning. So I still live that learning, that course, that first course that I was so afraid to take. It's the course that I refer to all the time. I need to check myself once in a while and remind myself that there are boundaries. You know, I can reframe different things so I can live into my life fully, as well as be in service to those that I'm serving, whether it be a coaching client or our students. It's just, the learning is just so real. And, you know, one thing I'd like to offer as well, not offer, but share, is that organizations, we're seeing, it used to be where the students would come into the program from, let's say, the executives, and then a few that were more mid-managers to frontline, let's say. And it's the opposite now. So we're seeing people coming into the program and bringing coaching to their organizations, which is what we want to see, because it brings that coaching culture. Especially right now, people need that sounding board, or they need somebody to support them and listen to them. As a manager or as an executive, you know, they have direct reports, they're indirectly coaching, but who are they talking to? They could have some, you know, have a persona of, okay, well, they don't seem approachable or they're grouchy. We don't know what's gone on for them at home before they log into Zoom or walk into the office. So coaching really does make a difference. So it really doesn't matter whether you're frontline or whether you're mid-level management or executive. You don't have to be coaching just executives. We call it the executive coaching program because you are capable of coaching executives, but I can coach a lawyer. I have no legal background. So it's not being a subject matter expert. It's learning how to actively listen and ask those deep and important questions, and really empower people to move through what they're needing to, you know, typically we're in our own way. So it's helping others get out of their own way by having a coaching conversation.
When you were in the program, and just from your observation of other people in the program, how do people balance kind of work and life and the program all at the same time? Did you see anything that really works for certain people, or do you have any personal things that worked for you when you were taking the program?
I always encourage people, even when I'm coaching them, is to chunk it out, right? So we do provide a roadmap, which we provide at the end of the residency, and that gives all of the deliverable deadlines, the mentor coaching sessions, anything that has a deliverable or a due date is on that roadmap right to the end of the program. So what I did for myself is our team would meet on a Sunday morning, and we would go through a team assignment and also delegate. Right? So within your team, somebody can be an editor, somebody can do the research, and just switch over when there's a team assignment for the next team assignment. For myself, I completed my readings during the evenings. Sometimes I would complete a post. Saturdays was my homework day, and then Sunday mornings for an hour, only an hour with our team. And that gave me some work-life balance. I still worked full-time. I was still raising a family. And it's doable, just need to be organized. And as I say, I encourage people to chunk it out, because if you're trying to do it all at once and you're just thinking, okay, I'm going to spend all day Saturday working on the coaching program, that'd be tough to do because it can be draining for one. And we really want you to immerse yourself as a student and really absorb that learning and allow yourself that time to be a student.
So I have another question that came in the chat. Is there an example of a weekly class schedule available anywhere for people to look at? Or can you kind of describe what a weekly class schedule would look like?
Yeah, so each of all of the units are done by week. So it could be a 1 week unit, could be a 2 week unit. There's only 3 assignments, in each of the courses. So there's 3 assignments in your first online course and 3 assignments in your second online course. And assignments are always due Sunday midnight, 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. So there's never a time where you only have a week that you get the assignment and then you've got to have it submitted by that following Sunday. There's always time for that. The webinar sometimes will be part of what's coming up as an assignment. Our instructors are quite engaged and also open to any questions. We usually open it up. The webinars open up about half an hour early just for that, just to check in and see where you're at in the course and what questions you have. So really the only scheduled pieces would be your weekly webinars, posts, which would be 2 a week. So another thing that I always try and bring to people's attention is that you'll log on and you'll see, if there's 42 students, you'll see like a list of 42 posts. You do not have to read every single post. And I know there are students that do unless they've talked to me because you don't need to, right? That in itself is overwhelming. So I encourage you or a student to choose 2. Choose 2 posts that resonate with you and either respond to them or add something that you've learned about that topic that would enrich another person's learning on that topic, or start your own, something that you've read or something that you've heard in conversation. The requirement is 2 posts a week. So please do not think you have to read every single post that's there. I know that there's some people that want to do that, and that's fine. That's great. But I wouldn't want it to be discouraging to log on and see all of this madness of all these posts when you really don't have to read every single one of them. You do have time. You can go through them in between if there is something that you haven't read yet, or you can flag it for yourself. But yeah, it's really self-paced learning, except for the deliverables, which as I said, there's only 3 assignments per course, and you're working with your team on 2 of them. So.
Thank you, Annette. This has been really informative and helping us kind of see behind the scenes of the program and what it's like. I know we had a few more questions in the chat, but I think we've gone through all of them. I'm just reading here. It helps. People are agreeing with it. It does help to help you feel connected and learn from different perspectives in the chat. Do you have any final words that you'd like to share with everybody in the room, or any final bits of insight about the program before we wrap up today's session?
I wouldn't let the waitlist deter anybody from applying, for one. There is always, if things happen and you need to change the offering, that's not an issue. We are the enrollment advisors, myself, our alumni, we're all here to support the process, the journey. And if you have questions, even after this webinar, whether you're attending today or listening to the recording, happy to explore any questions that we haven't covered, or if anything surfaces for you once you've listened to it or have left the session today. And I encourage you to reach out to alumni and just see what their experience was in the program and how they've applied the learning once they've completed the program. And as you apply for the program itself, your personal statement, yes, it's absolutely about your why, but I would also encourage you to include what coaching background do you have? So how you're going to apply it. So what are you bringing to the program as a coach indirectly, even whether it's volunteer in your role in life, and then how are you going to apply your coaching skills once you leave the program? Because that really puts you into the mindset as well of, yeah, this is what I want to do, right? It is, and I mean, it's going to sound woo-woo, but it is a calling. It's who we are. We're in service to others, and there's certain type of people that come to this program, to the coaching program. And then once you're in a cohort, you just know you're in the right cohort. So timing is just, trust your gut. If you feel the time is right now, then I say go for it.
Thank you, Annette. Thank you so much for sharing all of this with us. Thank you to everyone in the room today. Thank you to Selena and Lisa behind the scenes for all of your support. And I hope to see everyone here again soon. And do not hesitate to reach out if you have any questions whatsoever. Hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their day today. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.